can we punch up producer Mike's camera? Can we take producer Mike? So Tim Couch was great, guys. I thought Tim Couch was great. We got a lot of insight.
Super facts.
Producer Mike, Bernie's here, right?
Bernie's in the building.
Okay.
There's the chair. We got the empty chair.
So
ready
one
for him.
of our production assistants, Anthony, just went up to get him. Correct. So during this segment, you're going to see Bernie Kosar walk in. He's going to take that seat right there. Am I right, Mike? It's going to happen.
That is
now?
correct. Bernie's going to walk into the studio.
Yeah.
Onto the set. We're going to mic him up live.
He's actually going to walk on air when he comes into the studio. Bernie doesn't touch the ground.
No, he's going to walk in,
floats
mic himself up.
Guys in here.
Yeah, he's so revered in Cleveland for his years with the Browns. They speak for themselves. We all know what he was able to do here.
Best Browns quarterback of my life.
Of my lifetime too. I used to, my father was an old timer, and he would say, "Hey, pump the brakes on the of all time in Browns history." I always say, those quarterbacks in the 40s, 50s,
Who cares
60s.
about those guys?
It's so hard to try to train. Well, I give them their due. I care about them, and I give them their respect. But I'm sorry, I just can't. If you took Otto Graham today and you put him in an NFL team, he probably doesn't make a roster.
No.
And I'm being kind when I say that.
Yeah.
But he was great amongst the players he was playing at the time. He was all-time great.
Yeah.
How he would transfer to today's game, I don't know. Here's a question just off the top of my head. I just thought of this. If you could have Bob Feller play for the Indians today or Otto Graham play for the Browns today, who you going with?
Easy, Bob Feller.
man.
Feller. Because the fastball, that goes across all areas of baseball.
But Bernie can give us some really good insight because he's been hanging with Deshaun Watson.
Yes,
He was. I think that was at the Rams game, the semi-pro game. I
So,
saw that on
bro,
Twitter,
Bernie's
too.
like underwriting the Rams season.
Wow.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and he'll tell us when he gets here, I think Deshaun Watson is helping him. Like, this Rams is a semi-pro team in the area, and they just suddenly lost their field. The field that they had that they had an agreement with to use for their season. Suddenly they were told, sorry, that deal's
Bernie?
off. So
Yeah,
Bernie's in the
Bernie's
building.
here.
Bernie's in the building.
He's in the building.
Come on in, handsome.
Come on in.
Come on in and have a seat. We're on the air. That's okay. Look at skinny Bernie. Come on, bro.
Over here, Bernie.
Right here.
Right here. We got the good seat.
Skinny
Live
Bernie. He's
on
got the
TV.
hair growing in the back.
Bernie,
Look at
The
him.
mic is right there.
Yeah, throw it on your jacket.
There you go.
Hey,
Bernie
Bernie.
Kosar.
Bernie, welcome to Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Bernie's going to be a regular with us, too.
How you doing?
Bernie, Tyvis Powell, Garrett Bush, Adam the Bull, and, of course, you and I
Bernie.
go way back. So we're talking about the Cleveland Rams.
Yes.
And
Look.
For a lot of folks, they might not really know what's going on with that. Give us the quick 60-second version of what they are and how you're involved.
I'm not sure I could say hello in less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
But it's amazing. About 10 days ago, I'm watching the news in the morning, and I see I see a shot about a football team about they're losing their field, not going to have a place to practice.
Semi-pro, right?
Semi-pro team, not going to have a chance to play their games. It was supposed to be on May 7th. And as they're getting this bad news about not being able to have their season, they look up and they see that their neighbor across the street, the house is on fire, and Henry Clay is in there yelling, "Fire, fire," and unfortunately the smoke inhalation knocks him out. And these guys, football players for the Cleveland Rams, in a tough time where they're losing their football season, not having a place to play, having an opportunity to really feel bad for themselves. Instead of feeling bad for themselves, they take it upon themselves to climb the fence, cross the street, go into the burning house, not only get Mr. Clay out of there, but Lefty, one of the first guys on the scene, was actually trained in some paramedic skills, so to be able to get him out,
They saved
get
his
out
life,
there,
really.
save his life, So now, in a tough situation, here they turn a negative into a positive, which is something I've always kind of tried to do in my life. So to make sure that their season happened, we started raising money for them to have their game this past Saturday, and I brought with me today Randy Knight, who is
What's up, Randy?
Randy,
How are you, brother?
one of the players, coaches, and owners
That's a
for the
great story,
Cleveland
though.
Rams.
So their season's going to continue.
So
basically.
I'm gonna make sure that their season continues.
Wow.
We're awesome. Deshaun Watson came out the other day. He's helping making sure
That's
that it
phenomenal.
happens. And our friends.
Lifesavers, and now their season will continue. That's a great story. Thank you
Exactly.
for telling
Exactly.
me.
So hey, wait. Let me just
Go
say
ahead,
real
finish
quick.
up.
So It's just we just got the first game started this week. There's
How'd they do?
lot.
Did they play?
I wouldn't have showed up so happily if we didn't win 27-6.
No!
Okay.
Let's go!
Attaboy!
The
Hey,
first,
smiles over
yeah,
there.
the first number 55, Coach Knight, owner
I
Knight,
love it,
player Knight was instrumental
How
in
can
that
they
game.
watch the games? Is there a website that they can go to? Is there something that they can do to follow?
We stream live on Facebook on the Cleveland Rams.
Okay. So if you go to Facebook and search Cleveland Rams, I'm sure you'll see the schedule, how you can watch the games. They stream live. That's awesome.
Hey, and then
That's
one of the things too, though, we're still raising money for the team for the season, for Mr. Clay and stuff. So it's been awesome at 428 Foundation, which is 428 Athletics here in Richmond Heights.
So
and
if people
stuff.
want to help, they can
Yeah,
make a difference.
so please make a difference there.
Yes.
216-644-1110.
That's awesome. Thank you.
216-644-1110.
Thank you so much.
Bernie, how did Deshaun Watson get involved? How did he end up getting involved, and what was your time with him like?
Well, to get a chance to start talking with him, and then with them having the off-season program starting like this, and him wanting to be really active in the community, he also saw this on the news, and it was kind of cool.
Wow.
Cool that something that kind of grassroots organically got started here in town that was, really kind of a cool lesson, I think, for all of us. When we all have our issues going on, we all have our things in our own personal lives, and God, if this virus hasn't maybe taught me and I think us over the last couple years, whether it's the virus, what happened January 6th, it's really showing in society, I think, the extremists out there. And some of the polarizing views that are there. And again, whether you're a male or female, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whether you're black or white, God, athletes now and athletics, if this isn't a time now, almost a responsibility of us now, to really come together,
Yeah,
and really get into the communities and get into situations where, it's just not about ourselves. It's about genuine acts of giving back. And, I use the phrase, you matter, because we care about you. It's just not a University of Miami thing. Really giving back and showing people now that they do matter, that we care about them. It's almost, as I get into the late third quarter, early fourth
You're at
quarter.
halftime, Bernie.
Early fourth quarter of my
You're
life.
at halftime, brother. You're my age.
What do you got in your coffee, Ben?
Hey, Bern, the media hasn't really had a chance to sit down and get to know Deshaun Watson. I've talked to a lot of my friends that are in the media, both nationally and in Houston. They all say the same thing. They sing the same song about this guy. Just wait until you meet him. Judge him by what you see. He's a community guy. He's a caring guy. We know about the charges and that black cloud over his head. And I think fans are kind of torn. We're like, do we like this move? Do we not like this move? You've spent some time with him. You're a great judge of character. I think you do a tremendous job early on figuring out this guy's a good guy, this guy might be a little shady. What do you make of Deshaun Watson, the person, and do you co-sign the move to bring him here?
Well, that's something that's really fair to ask, and and I pride myself on really making sure I get a chance to know people, and I really like the ability to look eye to eye as opposed to just what you read, what you hear, what you maybe see around. And I'm just getting a chance to meet Deshaun right now, and I really like the way that he's embracing what's happening now.
Do you co-sign the move to bring him here? Because that was very controversial, and the move to bring him here also pushed Baker out of town.
Well,
Are you okay with all those moving parts?
There's a lot of questions within that, and from the Baker perspective right now, I think for our fans and for everybody out there, it's really imperative that people really look at some of the positive aspects of it. Going to the playoffs, beating the Steelers.
Talk to Bull on this. Don't look at me. You've got me on that.
But ultimately now, Bernie, in this era of quarterbacks, I think you got to have a great quarterback to win. And and Deshaun Watson's just a much better talent than Baker Mayfield.
Well,
ultimately.
Deshaun and what's going on right now, my part of it is to see what's happening now and do the best I can with going forward with it. And Deshaun's football skills, there's no question that he has football skills that I wish I had.
Bernie, I think the question is, did Baker have enough of a skill set to get this town and this franchise where we all want to go, and that's to win a Super Bowl? Do you believe had he been left alone, re-signed. 18 months ago, this question would have been laughable. Wait, you're talking about doing what? This guy has changed your life. He beat the Steelers in a must-win game. He beat them in the playoffs. Now we're turned the page and he's gone. The question isn't, I don't think, is Deshaun better, because I think everybody here would agree without much thought, yeah, of course Deshaun's better. The real question here, and this is the one the Browns were answering over in Berea, did he have the skill set to get them where we want to go? Do you think he did?
Well, I like how Baker was playing. Baker's a winning quarterback right now. And for what we've done from this century, since the team's come back in 1999, we've gone extremely farther than any other quarterback has taken.
That sounds like a yes to me, that you thought that they could have stayed the course with Baker and ultimately made a Super Bowl.
You know, we were on the brink of a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I told Bull. I said, look, save a bad call and a crazy fourth quarter.
And Patrick Mahomes getting hurt.
Yeah, but that's part of it. Like, that happened. You can't count on that happening.
Let me ask you this, Bernie. One of the things that I always admire about your game is the mental aspect to the game. When you get to the line of scrimmage and you look over and you see a safety and you see the secondary, you were one of the guys that back in the 80s I call a one-stop shop. You called the play, you can change it, you can audible it, you can make site adjustments. You knew everything from a cerebral aspect. Do you believe
Part of that was because I ran a 5.5 40.
You better bring something to the party.
Maximize your positives and minimize your negatives. Okay.
But Bernie, his point is you could do that.
Yeah. Do you think that they gave Baker an opportunity to do that and give him the reins? A lot of people, and I'm not the biggest Baker guy, but a lot of the people who support Baker say, look, man, they didn't give him the opportunity to do some of those things to make himself more successful as far as operating the offense and doing what he could do and being free to make those calls as you did.
Well, thank you for some of the compliments within that. And it's tough when you have multiple systems and multiple years as a young quarterback. I had a few systems within my first few years of playing. I really love how I was versed growing up in the football world with Coach Snellenberger, who was a disciple of Don Shula. And you get that type of foundational training at Boardman High School and then at University of Miami with really a pro-style attack. So when I got to Cleveland, I was very well versed in how to do those things. And then I said it as a joke, but really you do need to minimize your weaknesses and maximize the stuff you're good at. But the mental aspect of it back when I was playing was almost an essential part of it. Now I'm not sure how many young quarterbacks are overly versed in it.
The league doesn't really give quarterbacks
they don't
that
give
leeway anymore.
Well, in the high school and colleges don't overly prepare you for
Even
that.
in college, how many quarterbacks do you see looking back at the head coach after the line is set?
I would lose my mind having all guys not looking at me, staring at the sideline. That would not happen. Okay,
holding up a poster of The Simpsons. And
speaking of posters, though, there's a famous poster of you and Boomer back to back. Right, that photo. Did you guys get into a fight before that? Did you wrestle?
That was the Battle of Ohio, and I just love, Bull, that you brought that one up. That Boom spent the whole day on his tiptoes trying to show that he was the same size. Okay?
Was he working on his pretty hair?
Yeah, well, he has that going, okay? I wasn't going to duel him in that, but he had a size issue that day.
Oh, he wasn't feeling that.
Yeah. Bertie, did you like the way that they handled this? Would you have ran it back with Baker this season and tried to get him some weapons around, or do you think that Deshaun Watson was ultimately the right thing to do at this time?
You know what? It's too much to really go into that part of it. The part I'm in, because I wasn't part of all of that, is where we're at now. Mm-hmm. And where we're at now,
that sounds like a no to me, Bernie.
I wasn't.
Bernie loves to be the nice guy. Sometimes, says the politically correct thing. But am I wrong in thinking that if this was your decision to make, you would have stayed the course with Baker?
I really didn't spend a ton of time really thinking about it. Right. I really do think about what we're doing now. So, and when Bake was the guy, that's my effort and all my attention is to making that work. Just like when I was playing, was I always the best guy? In my mind, I thought I was, but in reality, really, was I? Probably not, but you're always trying to just make the best of whatever that current situation is. I know it looks like I'm hedging on that and then other questions, but really, I try to do what I'm doing now and do it good.
Make what you have here work.
Yeah, because it's hard enough to do good today and going forward with it. And that being said,
fair.
You know, there's so many questions being asked to me even about Deshaun and what's going on that I'm really trying to figure out that part of it. And, you know, from the off the field side of it, because the on the field side, there's nobody questioning, I believe, with Deshaun's awesomeness with it. And now, over the last couple weeks, you know, spending some time face to face with Deshaun and stuff for someone who I didn't get a chance to sit down with in the previous 5 years. Although in 2017, I absolutely loved him coming out of college and stuff. But when you do sit down with him, he has a real genuineness to him, and I've really enjoyed. I've enjoyed my couple times with him right now. And again, for him, with all he's got going on, to really have a genuine care about getting out there for the Cleveland Rams on this past Saturday, and then not just wanting to do it for he didn't even know. You know, I didn't even know if he knew the cameras were going to be there, but to not even just do it as a one-time thing, to be following up with me, to kind of want to be, you know, ingrained with Coach Knight.
You know, but I actually co-sign what you're saying, because I actually spent a week with him. I played for the Houston Texans for a week in like 2019, and he was a genuine guy, man. We had conversations and everything. You know, he was a first-round pick, and I was just an undrafted free agent guy that came in, and you know, he treated me like a human.
Tyvus Berry in the lead.
Look at that. Really?
That's great.
I bounced around a lot.
Yeah, but that's great to know. That's good meeting. I'm just now learning this for the first time.
Yeah, I was in Houston for a week.
But
he was a great guy. Great guy.
I think that's when you really see the true colors of the players, when the door's shut, the media's not around, and it's just the 53.
Well, yeah,
How does it go?
In the locker room, you know, we are who we are. We can mask it here a little bit.
But when you get in that locker room,
it's real.
It's real.
And guys can smell authentic a mile away, and that might be some part of the problem with Baker is he lost the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And
especially the defense. A lot of the guys on defense soured on him.
Bernie, to that point, so the Browns are doing the math on what's going to happen, and we don't know yet. We're going to, after this question, we're going to talk about the commissioner and what he's going to do and what you would do if you're the commissioner. But for this particular topic, has the ship completely sailed on Baker ever playing with this team again? Because I say that, if the league comes out and gives him a year, worst case scenario, if he's done for the season, you're now looking at Jacoby or Baker. And the Browns have to do the calculation, which player gives us the best chance to win with the team chemistry boiled into it. Is there a chance that Baker will ever take another snap again, or have they permanently changed the Wi-Fi password at First Energy and he'll never have it again?
Well, that's a really fair question, and in my past, those are the type of questions and type of things when I wasn't on air that I absolutely paid attention to and actually knew the answers to. And this is not really trying to get away with it here, and I could probably BS my way, you know, through an answer, but really, and
it's all a guess. I'm guessing that there's a chance.
No, but seriously, as I get into the late third quarter, early fourth quarter of my life,
halftime.
Well, again, football's been an amazing thing for me, but now I've been really so focused on really a lot of these community events.
Sure.
Some of the
so you don't spend as much time.
I don't really spend as much time on that aspect.
Man, I wanted an answer on that one.
We'll answer for you. Yeah, you're in the late third quarter. We'll take it from here.
No, but I mean, seriously, to be able now to, I know our fans want to know that answer.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me and where I'm at, trying to really genuinely help people make a difference.
Would it shock you if Baker took a snap again for the Browns? Would it just blow you away?
You know what? As we're getting older, no, it wouldn't. Nothing would shock me.
Real quick, Bernie, let me just
go to your question, and then
one more thing on the field with Deshaun Watson. You talked about your 40 time not very good. Yeah. We know Deshaun Watson, in addition to being a great thrower of the football, is also a fantastic athlete. And that's an element that the Browns didn't have with Baker Mayfield. He was, for an NFL quarterback, not a particularly good athlete. Deshaun brings that.
You're going to have a hard time having me jump on anybody for being non-athletic.
I hear
or poor mechanically.
But Deshaun Watson is a superb athlete, especially for a quarterback. And with the Browns having already a great running game with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, arguably the best 1-2 punch in all of the league, how much more dangerous is the running game? Because in addition to Deshaun's great arm, he has that running ability too.
Okay, Bull, I'm going to look like I'm a complete Eddie Haskell suck-up to you here. 100%.
Yeah.
100%, though, you're on point here. This offense and the way we move the pocket, look at how successful we were within this offense with Bake running it and over the last 2 years with it. With Deshaun, it takes it to another level of play in terms of the running game with it.
Yeah.
I was chuckling again at our Cleveland Rams game this weekend. Old Youngstown State quarterback Ray Clement was the QB, and he hadn't played in 3 years. And he goes, "Well, what do you recommend?" I go, "The game's changed since I played. You got to use your legs as the QB now, and those kind of those off-belly plays, the reads. Now with Deshaun's ability to move, there's no question.
Huge.
You got to have a spy on him at all times
Yes.
because just like Lamar Jackson and others in the league, if he decides that he's just going to tuck it and run, that's an option that defenses were never worried about Baker doing that. They've got to change their game plan now, and somebody has to babysit him, and that could open avenues for the receivers, for the run game, and everything else. We're going to role play now. We're going to play Roger Goodell, and we'll go around the horn. We'll start with Bull. That way, Bernie can think about his answer while Bull is giving his. So 2 questions. The first one is, they call you Bull, and they say from Park Avenue, New York, Roger's feeling ill. We need someone to step in as the commissioner today.
Yes.
And you've got to rule on Deshaun Watson based on what you know right now. What suspension are you handing down? Are you handing down any suspension?
It's an 8-game suspension for Deshaun Watson because I have to. I'm in charge of the Shield, okay, and that's all that matters. The owners, the commissioner, they don't. I believe they don't really care what the true story is. They only care about money,
public
and
perception,
protecting, and the public perception.
Perception.
And the public perception is bad. Whether Deshaun Watson did what he's accused of or not, I think shouldn't be irrelevant. But it is irrelevant when they come down with a suspension.
Okay.
The league looks bad. It's going to be 8 games.
Tyvis, you're the commissioner. What do you got?
I got 4 games. I got 4 games because, like he's saying, you have to acknowledge that something went down, that something happened. You have to show women that you appreciate them. You know.
The swag in your photo is off the charts right now.
I appreciate that.
Okay, that's a swag pick. That's a swag pick.
You know, it was a win. Anyways, 4 games.
Right, 4 games. I think.
Four
I think. By the
games
way, that would probably be the most popular answer.
Yeah, 4 games.
It's 4 games.
Because it's not detrimental to the team, but it's also it's going to hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, it's this whole thing. It's been a cloud for over a year. It's been a bad look on the league. Bernie, you're the commissioner, and you've got to issue a ruling today. How many games you giving them?
Well, again, I'm not trying to hedge, but anybody to my right, I hope you're absolutely correct. You know, anything that.
So you're hoping it's just 4 games.
4 to 8, anything in the first half of the year, so that by the second half of the year, when we're making a playoff run and you're trying to get acclimated to the conditions, and for the playoff run, that this is completely behind you. But I'm actually very concerned with.
You think it could be much longer?
The Trevor Bauer situation, and then
Trevor got 2 years, and it's basically the same guy, except for there were 3 accusers to 22 for Deshaun.
And then there's some hidden things within the NFL fraternity of ownership and God bless, I'm a player at heart, even though I'm an old man right now. But I'm a player at heart, and I love that the players could get the money they got. But for Deshaun to get that type of awesome contract from a player perspective, there'll be owners, and you've already heard some like Mr. Bisciotti
he was very
that said
outspoken.
it. So I'm not sure there's going to be the ownership group that's going to want to be very helpful towards Deshaun.
Yeah, I agree, especially because I think the Browns did themselves a disservice by the way they structured that contract, where Deshaun's only to be paid $1 million this year. Guys, that's why my fear
it's all signing bonus,
Well, but my fear is that the commissioner, when he heard that, wasn't very happy about it, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised if a suspension went not just a year, but into a second year, because that's how you really hurt him with the money. Right now, if he's suspended the year, he loses $1 million. That drives the commissioner bonkers.
Garrett's angry.
Garrett, you think that's way off base?
Hey, listen.
What's your suspension?
I let everybody talk. I let y'all get y'all's money off, but you already know how I give it up. What are y'all talking about? You talking about deflecting you did something against the Shield? That's the last part. He gets 0 games right now, and this is the easy one, right? One grand jury said up nothing. Another grand jury said up nothing. All you got to do, if I'm sitting in a position of the commission, I'm looking at it like this. Until those civil suits go to case And until there are judgments in those civil suits, he gets no games. I don't care if I have to come back in
That means he plays under that cloud all year then.
Hey, we ain't
Maybe
worried
for
about
2
the cloud.
years.
We don't care. The cloud, no one said that you get the option to just live under. The cloud is what it is.
What if he settles those? Does that change in your opinion?
If he settles, then you can go and say, okay, well, now let's look at it. But as far as 2022, if there are no civil cases, there is no grounds except for speculation.
What about Trevor Bauer, who also didn't face charges?
That's a whole nother situation
Why?
in a whole nother league. Unless you telling me that peer pressure is involved here.
I don't know if this matters, guys, but one second.
Peer pressure,
I don't know if it matters, Jay and G, but Trevor Bauer, terrible reputation around the league before this.
I think
players
it does
don't like him.
No, I get that. And
totally opposite.
No, I think
with
it does
Deshaun
matter.
Watson.
But at the end of the day, like
I don't know if it matters.
I don't know.
But
By you saying peer pressure, here's what Major League Baseball did when they hit Trevor Bauer with 2 years. They immediately looked over at Roger and said, "What do you got?"
Listen,
What do you got?
I don't think football cares about baseball.
Who's got the? They do because they're trying to beat. They lost their popularity. Baseball did to the NFL.
The moral ground, high ground for baseball has been gone. You had steroids in the game for years. Stop.
Yeah, but we're talking about sexual assault against women.
Listen,
that's not using steroids, G.
Well, I'm just saying. Listen, when you talk about wrongs and rights, right? Major League Baseball is trying to grab the moral high ground, right? Are they not? Major League, when you talk about the NFL don't have much to stand on either. Due to the fact that the Colin Kaepernick thing, they bungled that. Then you had the situation with Robert Kraft. Yeah. I ain't gonna say what he did, but he was
sports.
doing
I don't need the moral high ground. I don't care about the moral high ground.
So why am I talking about protecting the shield then?
Because that's what they care about.
If you don't need the moral high ground, why are you protecting the shield?
Adam's saying it doesn't matter to him, but in the real picture, it matters. Yeah. It's all that matters because it's all about protecting the shield.
Right, that something like happened.
Well, here's my.
I think if they do nothing, like I think it would, the women in this world would.
And see, that's why Roger Goodell is stuck.
They support the NFL.
He's damned if he does, because if he suspends him and suspends him hard, you're going to have all of the defenders of Watson saying
players are going to be ticked.
You just suspended him and he wasn't charged with a crime.
Yeah.
If he doesn't give him a suspension, you've got all of and not just women's rights groups. There are a lot of men that are pissed off about what happened, and they should be. Now, here's the thing. Nobody knows what really happened. Nobody knows except for Deshaun and the 22 women.
That's it.
But if the public perception, and I will tell you this, in the court of public opinion, guys, he's guilty.
Okay.
In the court of public opinion.
Depends who you ask.
Well, then listen. Now that he's a member of the Cleveland Browns, more people in Cleveland say, no, it's cool. He didn't do anything. But if he'd gone to the Pittsburgh Steelers, all the Browns fans would have been like, oh, here you go again. Ben retires and you're bringing in. So in the court of public opinion, I think he's been largely viewed as being guilty.
This is my point. Supreme Court justices, presidents of the United States have been accused of even more than this, right? They still were elected. They are still in office. They still can. But here's the thing.
And I care about morals for my politicians more than on my athletes.
There's no commissioner, though, that's going to rule on that.
That's true.
It's called the Senate.
No, it's called the no, it's not. It's called the court of public opinion. It's called the court of public opinion.
Here's my thing. I get the court of public opinion. Here's the thing. We grew up in the United States. It's called just due process or due process. All you got to do is wait till 2023. If he settles all these cases in 2023, then guess what? You get suspended.
And you know what? That might be what the commissioner wants. Here's what he gains by that.
He might kick the can.
The Browns play under that cloud of, is the hammer going to fall the whole year? And what the commissioner really wants, in my view, is for him to not be able to draw a paycheck in 2023. Because now he's hitting him where it hurts.
That's true.
Now he's taking it away. Yeah. Mike, do you have my graphic? So I thought about this long and hard. We're going to quickly pivot to what will happen. But I think it's going to be 4 games. I really do. And I think the reason is, I think 8, we'd all say, wow, he came down hard. A season, 2 seasons, we'd be blown away. Baseball is still, they're shocked at what Trevor Bauer got.
Yeah.
I think 8 games would elicit the response of, oh my God, is that harsh? No games would be like, wow, they let him off. So what is the commissioner going to do? He's going to try to please everybody, drive it down the middle. I think he'll get 4. That's what I would do if I was the commissioner. The next question, though, is what will the commissioner do? And we have a little bit of, Ray Rice, once the video came out, never saw a blade of grass on an NFL field again. Ben, I think it was originally 6 games, reduced to 3 or 4.
It's going to be 6. I think it's going to be 6.
Okay, so that's what will happen. 6 games. Okay.
I do. I think I think that signals, again, whether we like it or not, I get where you're coming from, G, and I agree with you. But in the end, I think the commissioner, conspiracy theory, he'd like it to hang over the Browns for a year. I think the league wants this over and done with, so they're not going to wait for this to settle.
Okay.
And I think it's got to come off as harsh, but not too harsh, and I think it'll be 6.
All right.
I got 4. I think it's going to be 4. Even though I do agree that if he wanted to make a real big deal, he would just play it out this season and wait till 2023 to get it done.
Right.
Because it would definitely hurt him more financially.
Sure.
But I think what Adam said, I think he just wants to get it over and
Bernie,
done with.
what do you got? What will he get?
I just hope he doesn't get the cloud hanging over us for the next
You
year.
you want it decided one way or another.
I want it settled because the playing in December and January without the kind of the seed or demon of the possibility of a hammer falling for the playoffs or for the stretch.
That's
drive.
a cloud nobody wants to play.
No, that's not in the best interest of Deshaun, but it's absolutely not in the best interest of the Browns and the 2022 playoff run that I believe we're absolutely talented enough to be a playoff team next year.
Great. G. Bush, what will happen?
I think
because you said you would give him 0.
I would give him 0, but I think he gets 4.
Okay.
It's a happy medium. Like, I'm not stupid and I'm not naive. The reality of the situation is you got to pay the piper. Somebody is going to say, look, man, not only I think they're going to get him 4 games because they're kind of upset at the Browns, right? They kind of broke the rules with giving him that money and that contract even while this was going on.
The other owners are irate.
They're a little upset. Yeah. They're going to give him 4 games because it's like, hey, all right, that doesn't cripple the Browns. It doesn't shoot their playoff chances down. Plus, it's 4 games. They're like, okay, if you can make it through September and get to October and you can be 2-2, they're right back in it. They get over with. I think he gets 4 games. He may appeal. But I think they denied the appeal, so does it look like they're backtracking? He ends up with 4 games.
Right. Guys, by the way, I do believe, and I'm serious here, that the commissioner is not actually a human being. He is a robot. I mean, he's completely uncomfortable whenever he talks. Have you ever seen a guy let's introduce the folks from the Special Olympics, and he can't even do that nicely. He looks so awkward.
By the way, he does give authentic dap when he's dapping.
He
people
does do
up.
that.
That's the only thing.
He's got the bro hug.
He got that for sure.
Yeah.
He got it.
Maybe he's an alien.
You know what? Wouldn't have you loved to had a camera in the room when he was asking some of his former players, friends, like, yo, how
you do
does
that?
Work?
How you do that?
And you swing the arm at the same time?
Whatever it is, they got him right, for sure.
You're right on that. I'm glad you made that point.
He got the dap.
Okay, so I'm never going to ride the fence because I think this show is about opinion. And when anybody tries to ride the fence, Bernie Kosar, I'm going to try to get you to pick a side because I think that's what sports fans do.
You have to think through what
you do. And I know we just caught you off the guard. Bernie had no idea any of the topics.
None.
So from a friend to friend, I apologize.
I didn't even know the show was starting today.
I
called Jay to say hello this morning.
That's a true story.
Come on in.
Actually, it's partly true. I've been trying to get a hold of this guy, and we play phone tag a lot. So I'm not a fence rider. You're not a daily member, so we'll let you skate. But we have to come down hard. But as I think about this, guys, this is one topic for me. I'm going to give an incredibly wide zone, and I'm going to take a lot of grief from you guys. But the answer to the question, what will happen, is very complicated. I'm going to set a range, and I think that on the low end, it's going to be at least 4 games. At least 4 games. Okay. I think anything less than that, and the commissioner is going to take a beating. Remember, this isn't what the grand jury heard. Mm-hmm. This isn't what we've heard through public reports and press reports. Rodgers' team is doing a serious investigation. The investigative unit at the NFL, Bernie, as you know, they're FBI. They're CIA. They're legit folks. They're going to Houston. They've talked to the women. They've talked to people that know the women. They've had cell phone data. They've had text messages. They know it all. So Rodgers going to have all the information he needs to eventually make that decision. I was thinking the range was 4 games to a year. This is serious, guys. 22 women. Not that he's guilty, but it's a lot harder to get your mind around 22 than it was Trevor's 3. 22. Could it be a conspiracy? Yes. The chances of it being a conspiracy go down with each new voice. I think the commissioner knows he has to do something that is harsh and gets everyone's attention. I thought it would have been a year, but once Manfred ruled 2 years for Bauer, my high end went to 2 years.
Jay, this is
and
unacceptable.
I know that's a huge range.
It's unacceptable.
Not gonna
I
happen.
know.
All right,
Not
your
happening.
entire house is on the line. Your house. You lose
8 games.
8 games.
There
8
it
games.
is.
But I do. Yeah, you're talking my crib, dog. You're talking my crib now.
Way to get him to change right away.
Yeah!
So you know what?
go.
I tried to put. I tried to.
He does.
I
He
tried.
does.
I mean,
Yeah,
4
yeah,
to
yeah.
32. Come on. Get
And I'm
out
gonna,
of here.
well, listen, because I'm being a hypocrite. I tried to push Bernie. Maybe you should have tried to push Bernie. You got the answer out of me.
Come
by
on,
the way.
Bernie. Come on.
So
Bernie,
listen,
like, you ain't messing my checks up. Y'all
Bernie's got the most beautiful farmland and acreage. Bernie is not making any bets with that. Mike, are we going to break and come back for final takes? What are we doing?
We do whatever we want.
What do
We're
we
talking
want
about
to
the
do,
Cavs.
guys?
We got. Let's go overtime today.
Okay, here's one thing
go
I want
past
to do.
one.
Look, he wanna
Before
get to
we
that
let
so
Bernie
bad.
go, because I told him we'd keep him for 30 minutes. He's
Yeah.
been on for way longer than that. Before we let you go, the thing I love most about talking to really polished athletes that have done something. I mean, you've been around for so long. You won a Super Bowl, the Cowboys, Miami, Cleveland. I've heard a lot of your football stories, and they're all entertaining. You've got a go-to story. You've got a favorite story. I don't know what it is, but I'm about to find out. I want your best. I'm speaking at a banquet, and they want one story. What do you tell?
I don't know about the brevity of this, but as a guy hitting my 40th surgery, 80 broken bones, 100 concussions, 14 seizures, to be able to actually sit here and be able to answer some of these questions and somewhat be able to enunciate, articulate, and communicate some multiple syllable words is actually very happy to be doing that. But growing up in Youngstown, Ohio, halfway between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, I get a lot of people that come up and ask me about, you must not like me because I'm a Steelers fan. And I'm really proud to be able to say that, you know, actually the opposite. I actually love you that you're a Steelers fan because, you know, you guys have 6 Super Bowls over every generation. You guys have showed to be an organization that can win a Super Bowl and during any era of football. Except the 9 years that we kicked your backside.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, that is
not see
great.
that coming.
That is great. That was a drought.
So that is an exact state. I'm not sure if that's a joke or a story, but it is factual.
It's factual. And not only that, it's not like that you just were kicking their rear ends every year. You guys were going to the AFC Championship. You were the relevant team out of the then AFC Central.
No
What
Mark
a-
Malone. Forget him.
Fun time. I saw something on Facebook. It made me laugh. It was a fake tweet as if it was from Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
And it said, okay, Twitter, if I get to 1 million tweets, I'm going to buy the Steelers and I'm going to shut them down. And they put down the fake number that it had 999,000 likes. and so as a Browns fan, when I saw that, I'm like, well, I'm sure that's not real.
Yeah.
But I would like that in a heartbeat if we could get rid of them for good. But we do love them because that rivalry is back, which makes it great.
Yep.
It makes it great. Bernie,
Unfortunately, our division is actually
division
really
is-
good.
I think it's the sickest
Our
division in
division and our
football.
conference is at another
And the
level.
AFC West. I mean, they're both.
yeah, no,
divisions
it's
are loaded.
AFC's loaded.
Yeah.
I'm going to fanboy for a minute. You were my idol growing up. You know this. I've told you this many times. You were my favorite player. I liked you because you were smart and you got the most out of the gifts God gave you. You changed the football lives of all of us for the decade or near decade that you were here. You gave us so many thrills. It makes me so happy to look at you and see you, the Bernie Kosar that you are today. You look great. You're as fit as ever. He's at his playing weight, guys. He's at his playing weight.
I'm only a couple of pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it incredible?
Yeah, well, that holistic.
You look great.
Only a couple
I
pounds.
couldn't be happy for your health. I know you're healthy. You're happy, and on behalf of all of Cleveland Browns fans, We love you. Thank you so much for all of the thrills that you gave us. And we're going to hold you to being a regular on the Ultimate
I'll be
Cleveland
around
Sports
here,
Show.
and we'll talk more about the little health and wellness that's helping out
Yes.
some of us ex-players.
He's
So
got a lot to
you're
say
a
on
youngster.
that topic.
We're going to avoid some of that headache issue that comes
appreciate
along.
that.
Comes
Yeah.
along
Well,
with
that's
our
what-
profession.
Bernie's
I
done
need
that
that
for a lot.
seriously.
Bernie, thank you so much.
Awesome, guys.
Can't thank you
You're
enough.
the man, Bernie.
Keep
We're
our
gonna take a break.
keep our Cleveland Rams in line.
Yes,
Keep them in
Cleveland
mind,
Rams.
man.
Check them out. Go on Facebook. Follow them. Help them out. It's a great team, and they're doing some fun things.
428 Foundation.
428.
First show ever. Supposed to end at 1, but unlike other forms of media,
If we
we
want
can
to
do
go
whatever
over,
the hell we
if
want.
we want to go over, we're going over.
Let's
We'll
go
walk the
past
clock.
1. Come
We're
on.
going to take a break. When we
that
come back,
rolling.
final takes? Is that what
No,
we're doing? We'll come
Cavs.
back? We're going to
Let's
do
get the Cavs.
Cavs? Oh, we're really
I
going
gotta
to go
straighten
over.
you out.
Hey, I got a second job that I have to do after this.
Forget that.
We're going to do